when the call comes, I will answer it as part not only of serving God, but as part of representation.
For a long time, women have been in the pew and the men have been at the altar. The Africa 6 show that women should be at the altar at the same time.
Our Africa 6, we appreciate you. We appreciate you because I know there's a level of boldness that you exercised when history was being made.
Being called Africa 6, it's something that has been anchored and embedded. It's something that will be referred to throughout history. It feels like this is a rebirth. I'm going to be a different bishop than the one that I've been in the last 2 years because of this experience.
We could see the inspiration, the excitement. So that presence alone in that space is a step and a motivation in itself. But again, we know, even as I come in, that I have a responsibility. Being the first in that context means a lot for me. I'm spot on. I have to try as much as possible to be relevant. That's how then you continue to open doors for the others. If I don't do it right, I'll have closed doors for other women.
I would imagine that our faith should have informed how we deal with these kind of evils in society: violence, gender-based violence, rape, hunger, poverty, corruption, and all the evils we are seeing. What is the problem?
Most of our theology is not contextual. In our theological education, in our preaching, we must really address the contextual issues instead of pretending. And I think one of the things our churches really love evangelism and not teaching. And I think we need to be a teaching church.
For many years, we've been talking about gender-based violence, and the status quo remains. And you are right. So what is the challenge? The challenge is that we are not ready to intentionally take the initiative. Like what I've done in Butere, I have intentionally taken the initiative to sensitize, to create awareness.
As women leaders, we are the ones who have to start. That we are in positions of power, and I always say it's a borrowed power. It's not forever. People can take that power back. How at that moment when we have those platforms that we change the cultures of organizations, of churches, of everything else.
What pain are you addressing and how are you doing it?
We have a whole generation that was affected by HIV. And now we have a generation that has been affected by COVID. So as a church, we have a responsibility to those lives. Hence, we have neighboring care points whereby we feed children at least a meal a day.
African leaders, they are not faithful to their people. They are not seeing themselves to be responsible and to be like what the Bible says. A leader is a leader to the people he is leading.
If we need to coexist, if other people want to tolerate and coexist, we cannot do that when we don't realize that we need each other for the next step, for the next part of the journey. So, however we call God, wherever we worship our God, in whatever names we use to worship this God, we cannot use that then as a blade or a spear or a hammer to really go and mutilate other people.